Raymond captured the imagination of the youth, and that is that magic or that energy that what he did is still very much alive in the youth today. They love it. Period.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is gonna send you a big.
Professor Melly Man, the Hoop Puss Man. Who I'm here with today?
You here with Sparks, player, man, off the west side, South Central LA.
Sparks, my first question to you is, man, how did you get that name, Sparks?
Yeah, actually, man, the name came about when I was a kid. You know, it was Spark Plug, Sparky, and it morphed into Spark as I grew older. But I was always an energetic little guy, and used to play a lot of flag football. Used to play a lot of things when we growing up in the streets. And it was one old brother just said, "Man, that's you Sparky, man. You just spark around all the time." And believe me, it's been with me ever since. I haven't never changed it. I wasn't one who was looking for a nickname, searching for some kind of alternate or identity. It was one that stuck, and I was in the streets. Actually, my family called me Tutter, as far as family members. But in the streets, growing up, I was very athletic. Played a lot of football, basketball, baseball, track field, bike riding, you name it, devil's dips, and it just caught on, Spark.
Man, that's amazing. Helen Keller Park has always been known for, man, we used to come up there and play baseball.
Yeah.
Because they had a pretty good lead up there, and back during our time, we went around from parks to parks playing, and
yes,
it's unfortunate that they did something to the program to where the kids don't have the opportunity we had, doing team polls and cedar programs and so on and so forth, Little League baseball. But anyway, what schools did you attend, Sparks?
Well, I started out moving around and about, man. My family was kind of a little dysfunctional. We was, moving from one apartment to another, and from Manchester Elementary, Willowbrook Elementary, you name it. In about the third grade, I settled in at West Athens Elementary. Graduated from there to Henry Clay. Was in and out of juvenile halls, camps, Ys, and all that, and ended up at Washington from time to time, and then graduated from high school while I was at youth training school in Ontario, YTS.
What year did you enter middle school or junior high?
Junior high was 1971. 1971. I was in the 7th grade at Henry Clay Junior High.
Leaving elementary school and going to middle school, would you say that was kind of like the beginning that where you saw like, oh, this is different? And what I mean by that, because now you got people from different sides of different communities merging into this one school. Now you're beginning to see gang activity, and that's what I'm getting at. Was that your experience?
Well, yes and no. So, me growing up at West Athens on the west side, in the heart of, basically, I was raised in the Devil's Dips.
I remember Devil's Dips.
So Devil's Dips is on. It's in between Normandy and Western, 120th Street, and ran all the way to Imperial.
Used to be a white front right there.
Yeah, it was a white front on the east side of Normandy, right there across the street from Devil's. In the back of white fronts, it was the Baby Dips. But the gang, the new gang, so it was always little cliques around there. The Helen Keller Park Boys, the Denver Lanes, it was always little cliques. But the new gang was the Crips. They came along about 1970 out there, and I was always exposed to who they were by growing up in the dips, in Devil's Dips, playing with my motorcycles, playing with our bikes. Matter of fact, I was in Devil's Dips playing on little cardboard slides, sliding down the hill when I was about maybe, 9 years old, 10. So I already knew a lot, or was familiar with a lot of those guys that were Smacks and Crips through just playing in the dips, And then when I went to junior high school, of course, yes, it was the gangs proliferated a little bit more, and yeah, we began to socialize with guys from neighborhoods, from Gardena and other points, distance and near. So yeah, it as far as being exposed to a lot more people, students, and growing up, learning as you go. Yeah, junior high school was a lot different, but it wasn't nothing that determined. It wasn't nothing that I was impressed with. Let's put it like that. When I did go to Henry Clay.
Okay. So at one point, did the choice become prevalent in your mind, or was there a choice to be made? Because we had different scenarios, right? We had these guys over here, we had those guys over here, and how did you, or what was the influence for you making a decision in that area?
I'm gonna tell you what was the influence. I always seen it. You talking about what drove me to become an official associate, a member with Crips?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what drove me to that was it was a couple of different things. First, they captured my imagination with their different style and swag. As far as they were different, they were dressed different, they walked different, and they introduce a whole new style of swagism. If you get my point. But what really turned me out was the Crips used to gather after school and pretty much victimize somebody somewhere for some reason, whether they was wearing some Crip clothes that wasn't supposed to, said something to somebody that was a Crip. It was always that. Then my brother, who was a grade older than me, Lavelle, he had got into it with a guy named Thurman that was supposed to be a really tough Crip member. So it was a fight after school near the dips on 120th between Thurman and Lavelle. So we was all in that, it was a bunch of Crips around the fight. My brother Lavelle ended up the victor in that fight. Matter of fact, he had two fights. But the first fight, I was there with my brother, determined not to see him be jumped on or victimized after he won the fight, because I know he was going to win the fight. He was a very good fighter. I used to fight with him every Friday. So I knew he was going to win the fight. My father taught us, the skill of boxing when we was very young, and it was something that me and my brothers regularly did with each other and around the neighborhood. So
That was something
Yeah,
big
yes.
in our area.
Yes.
You know, fighting and learning karate and boxing, and
It was huge.
It was huge in our area.
Yeah, so it was a guy by the name of Ronald Russell, and I think Duke, he had a little with some Crip members. I don't know if Kelsey Thomas was there.
Big Kelsey.
I think Michael was there. Michael Cassell. And what happened was they did not jump on my brother. They stepped in, and it was one of the bigger Crips or the older Crips that stepped in and said, "This little dude here, he the business." And that really is what enamored me with the Crips. You know, since they recognized, the soldierism in my brother, and I know they would recognize that in me, because I was always a little fuck up anyway. They already knew who we was from Devil's Dips, and I gradually gravitated towards them, and eventually became a baby West Side Crip member soon after.
You know what's interesting about what you said? Because I experienced the very same thing, but it was like when I saw Mac Thomas and I saw Tookie, the way they were dressed and the muscles and just that look, that fiery, fierce look, man. I'm like, I want that. You know, how do I get that? How do I become that? Let me go buy some. No, I'm gonna ask my mom to buy me a weighting set. You know,
Yes.
so to speak. But okay. So that was maybe your early influence that made your decision to become
A Crip member.
Okay, got it.
Exactly.
How did your upbringing or environment contribute to your identity as a Crip?
Yeah, see, well, we all start from a point of, well, I'm not going to say we all, but most of us, looking back over the tapestry of my adolescence and the people I was around, I would pretty much say 90%, 95% of us came from dysfunctional households. Mm-hmm. It was something inside the household that drove you to seek some alternative direction, some alternative influence on what you was gonna do with your life. So my household, it was cool, it was loving, it was tough, but it was dysfunctional, as was the households of all the little baby West Side Crips that I ran with. It was always something going on in the household that we wanted to escape into the streets to escape that. So that's where it all begins. And then without having proper direction, without having proper cultural or community input in a young mind like that, it's easy for that individual to become associated with something that is really, really negative and gangster. If you really want to know the truth, it's just something that's violent, gangster, and a subculture that will probably not allow most of those individuals to rise to their potential.
Got it. How did the formulation, or how did the gathering of Raymond actually come together?
Well, Raymond Avenue came together. I was instrumental in the originations of that certain set. Sets was coming out in '73. They was, like I said, they was spreading about like wildfire in L.A.
Crips don't die, they only multiply.
That's right. Chitty chitty bang bang is Crips and things. So we had all that growing up. Crips it was a phenomenon. Mr. Raymond Washington captured the imagination of a dissatisfied youth out there in the streets of Los Angeles, and he did that. He captured that imagination. Then Setism started, coming into play with the UGs, Blocks, Hoover, you name it. We had a bunch of different set members in the little Pacific area where I grew up at, and I decided to give a Crip meet at the age, I think I was 14 maybe. And we had a big Crip meeting at West Athens Elementary School. I was a baby West Side Crip at the time, but we had people claiming Block Crip, UG Crip, and Hoover Crips. So,
Or the paybacks?
no, the Paybacks wasn't
Okay.
wasn't out yet.
Okay.
Paybacks came a little bit after. They was formed in Camp Finner by Barefoot Pook, and who was at Barefoot Pookie, and I think Chico Bell formed the Paybacks in Camp Finner.
True.
Right after us, though. But I think 1975 is when they came out. But we was there in 73. We decided that we needed to be one identity in this part of town and stop the graffiti of all these different recognitions. We all grew up with each other, and we decided
Pretty
we
much
was
went to
gonna
the
call
same
ourselves-
schools.
We went to the same schools. Yeah, everybody that was in that meeting grew up, you know, West Athens, Henry Clay. We was in Washington High. I was at Henry Clay at the time, but we did have older homeboys at that meeting. That was original West Side Crips. Benny Jenkins, BJ, a few more, and we decided that, you know, this is what we needed to be, our own identity in this area, and that's what we did. We came up with the name Raymond Avenue Crip, based because, you know, at this point in time, all the Crips knew pretty much about the Crip history. It was kind of new, and everybody there knew who Raymond Washington was. You know what I mean? Not to say that we had all met him at that time, but we knew about him. We knew his reputation. And we knew that he was the original founder of the Crips.
He is the OG. He's the
founder.
creator. Anything that's
he's
created
founder.
is the original person. Yes.
He is the creator of the Crips. You know, there's no co-creator. There's no, you know, I mean, there's a West Side
Starting point, yeah.
starting point, but he is
And
the
there's a
starting
Compton
point for Crips.
starting point. Yeah, so on
All
and so
of it
forth.
came from the East Side.
Yes.
You know, so because you got Mac and Honcho and all them, they
All
came
of
from
them
the
came from the East Side.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Lock
Definitely.
High School, all that, they came and went over in
They
them
was
Grandies.
all very familiar with one another.
They went to those Grandies, and here we go.
Like
We
Carl
got the
Vernon
Compton
from
Crips.
111, he was in the Grandies.
Yes, he
Mr.
was.
X.
Mr. X came out of the Grandies. Yes, sir. You know,
How does you, Tretch, Evil, Nugget, how did all you guys meet, or did you guys just grow up together?
yeah. Well, actually,
And also LaBelle, your brother. I know you and LaBelle was together because y'all
right,
brothers.
we brothers. Yeah, yeah. We all grew up together. Everybody came about in that same little neighborhood right there.
And are you guys relatively in the same age group?
No, me and Evil is about maybe he's my age. He's probably a few months, 5-6 months older than I. And then Tretch is much younger than we are. Tretch is probably 4 to 5 years younger than us. And Nugget is probably 3 years younger than us. Me and LaVelle, and we all, you know, we all just was in the same neighborhood. Actually, you know, I brought most of those guys into Crippin'. So it was my ideal to turn that neighborhood to a Crip neighborhood, you know, to be in alliance with the West Side Crips and the Compton Crips and East Side Crips, of course, but they acquiesced to my vision, and there we were. We were all Raymond Avenue Crips at one point in time.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. Lock the door.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga. Streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top. Diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing. They see me shining. That's hard work. Proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me. That's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say?